you ready?
I'm ready.
I'm ready.
I'm ready like SpongeBob on... I don't remember what that episode was. Anyways, welcome back to Pixel Perfect Podcast. I'm Paige.
I'm Erin.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say
What's
this is,
happening?
I was gonna say I was gonna start off by saying we made it to episode 8.
We did,
We
yeah.
made it past like the hump that other podcasts tend to die at.
The episode 7 die-off is usually, like, that's what I've read is where people usually... Like, the old Pixel Perfect, whose brand has been dead for 3 years, has 7 episodes.
Okay.
And hasn't uploaded since.
And we're past that.
We're past that.
Woohoo! We made it.
So give us your Twitter handle.
Yet another call out to Pixel Perfect Podcast.
Right?
To, you know, get their shit together and stop it.
Just hand it over.
It's especially annoying on YouTube because it's like impossible to find us on YouTube.
Yes, you have to type it without spaces. Like,
I know.
It has to be all
It's
one
awful.
word.
Yeah.
It's infuriating.
So we did not announce this, I think, really, except for my screaming tweet.
Right. Because we didn't know what episode we were doing last time.
Yeah.
So, surprise.
Surprise! It's
Actually,
all
by
the
the time
boys I've
this is
loved
out,
before.
I'll have promoted this on Instagram, so you do know what's happening.
Yeah, so today we're doing All the Boys I've Loved Before. Mostly the books. We might touch on the movies, but mostly the books.
Probably just for the sake of making comparisons between the books and the movies and not just the movies themselves.
So...
but before that, we wanted to touch a little bit on the drama that's been going on with the Lizzie McGuire reboot.
Yes. So, okay. So there was supposed to be a Lizzie McGuire reboot on Disney Plus, and they even promoted it in their, like, What's Happening in 2020 thing.
Yeah.
Where she, like, it's actually a really cute moment where she, like, runs in the car and says, "Hi, it's me." And I'm like, oh my god, it's you! I watched it, and I was like,
really excited about it because I'm like, I want little cartoon Lizzie at like 30 years old.
I
I'm
want
ready for it.
Year-old Lizzie. I really, and so what happened is that I guess there were some creative differences.
Yeah.
The showrunner left.
Yes, although I think she was actually fired.
Yeah.
I think I read somewhere she like legit got fired.
That's okay.
Yeah.
But then I get Hilary Duff posted something on Instagram about the Love, Simon TV show getting pulled from Disney Plus and getting put on
Hulu.
Hulu, yes. Yeah.
Which, a side note, that on itself is also infuriating because it was like not family friendly or whatever, and it's like, excuse you?
Which is,
you know how many gay children there are out there who would love to see that shit?
Yeah, it's still wild how often, like, especially because it's a YA book. It's a YA book. Like, it's not any more inappropriate than your High School Musical series.
Right.
So, but yeah, so she posted on Instagram and she's circled Love, Simon TV show pulled from Disney Plus going to Hulu and said sounds familiar. And a lot of people are questioning whether or not that means that it's moving there or whether or not she's just hoping it's going to move there.
Right.
I don't think we have confirmation yet.
I don't think so either. I think even the showrunner said that she'd be okay with that. And I personally would be okay with that because from all the promotional materials they were putting out there when they were working on it, I liked the direction they were going in. And I was looking forward to seeing like what they were going to give us for like 30-year-old Lizzie. And I feel like whenever Disney does something like this, it means we're going to get some like really watered down childlike crap.
Yeah, I'm thinking of like Girl Meets World.
Yeah,
where it wasn't what I wanted,
right?
I don't think, and I really want to see 30-year-old Lizzie struggle.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I want to see her live her life and struggle, and like, I want to see what happens with Gordo and what happened with Gordo, and I just like, you know what I mean? Like, there's questions that I want answers to.
Absolutely.
And I want this show to give it to me.
Yeah, and I feel like Disney's trying to do something weird with it where like they're not understanding that the people who are going to watch the show were the people who grew up with it to begin with.
Right.
And it's that age group anyways. Like, we're all in our late 20s, early 30s, and that's what we want. So like, why are you
like,
going to water it
where are
down?
your target audience?
Yeah.
Why are you
the
trying
12-year-olds
to
don't care.
Yeah.
They didn't even see original Lizzie McGuire. They don't understand the charm of the little cartoon lady.
Yeah, like it's why are you trying to change what's actually going to make the show successful? So
right.
That's interesting. I just, as a tangent, because we do those here, if you're new to this podcast,
really
we do tangents. It is impossible to find the Lizzie McGuire soundtrack.
Oh,
like the movie soundtrack.
Oh,
like,
okay.
it's impossible to find the movie soundtrack.
Mm-hmm.
Specifically, it's impossible to find like the finale song.
I don't even remember what it was, and I had that on DVD.
I still have it on DVD.
Oh my god. Yes.
I considered buying a like physical copy of the soundtrack because I want that song. And
What song was it?
This Is What Dreams Are Made Of.
Oh, that's right.
Yes,
that like
yeah.
launched
You
her like
can't-
music career
Yeah,
or whatever.
you cannot find a digital version of that song. It is
That's
impossible.
Really stupid, but also sounds like Disney.
And I'm just like, what happened?
Actually, I found out something interesting. Hilary Duff does not sing that song in the movie. Her sister Haley does the singing.
That actually tracks to me because I just watched this last night
Mhm.
over again.
That's
And
fantastic.
it does not sound like Hilary Duff's voice because what happened is I was
Right.
like I went like on a Hilary Duff binge last night and we just listened to a bunch of Hilary Duff songs, and then I watched that song and I remember thinking as I was watching it, that doesn't sound like her.
No, it kind of doesn't.
Did they try and make it? Which makes sense because it's supposed to be like her doppelganger for bits and pieces of
Right,
it. So yeah, that.
I can see that.
I listened to Hilary Duff, guys.
It's fine. I definitely
Unironically.
had several of her CDs for a while.
I still have her CDs. So yeah, I'd like to see Lizzie McGuire. I'd watch that.
Yeah.
But I can see why they wouldn't want it to move it from Disney Plus because that's kind of where they're trying to like put all of their shit.
Right. But Disney does own Hulu, so it's kind of like Hulu or Disney for adults.
Yeah, so maybe. I just think that Hulu would like, because it worked in the Mindy Kaling show and the Mindy Project, and I just feel like they're kind of the great place for shows like that.
Yeah.
So
I can agree with that. We'll be keeping an eye on it. We'll keep you posted.
yeah. But moving on, I think.
Diving
We're
in.
moving in.
To
To All the Boys I've Loved Before, the series by Jenny Han.
Yes.
It's the first book came out 2014, and then there's P.S. I Still Love You, which is the sequel, which came out in 2015, and Always and Forever Laura Jean, which was 2017.
Yes, which was originally not going to exist. It was supposed to be a 2-book series, and then while procrastinating on another project, Jenny Han wrote this instead. So I was like,
my god,
that's the most relatable thing I've ever read in my life.
Oh, that is perfect.
Right? I was like, okay.
Jenny Han is us.
I love you a little bit for this. Oh my
So
God.
we come from this, as usual, Paige and I tend to come from different backgrounds on topics like this, where I've read and watched the movies before.
I read the books 3 days ago. I read one on Friday, then Saturday, and then Sunday.
They're easy reads, at least. They're
I
not,
breezed through
yeah,
them.
they're
They were
speed
so
reads.
fast.
Which is not to say that they're well written, so you can read them quickly, and they're really just digestible.
Sorry, I made a face when you said
Well, I mean, they're
well-written.
first person, but like they're good first person. As much as you can call first person good.
Yeah,
We're anti first
I mean-
person on the show, you should know.
Yeah. We have a problem with it.
We
which
have a problem with
I'm a
first
new
person.
convert to that, but I'm like, I feel like I'm in a whole new world ever since Aaron opened my eyes to the non-first person. Like,
I think I literally just started highlighting sentences of yours and was like, what the fuck is this shit?
oh, it was fantastic.
And then she was like, I'm gonna write in third person.
Yeah.
And now our book is better.
But I've kept that version just as a reminder.
You
like,
should
look
keep
what
that
you
version.
almost did.
I know. But I think that this is a first person where I forget that it's first person, where for me, like Hunger Games, I can't forget it anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Like I read Hunger Games and I'm like, this is so first person-y. I can't do it.
There's something about this style of first person that kept putting me off. And I think it's because Laura Jean as a character does so much like inner thoughts and inner narration that I would often get confused sometimes if I didn't pay close enough attention to where the dialogue tags were. And I would read a sentence and be like, did she just say it out loud? Or was she saying that in her head?
That's fair.
And it happened very frequently while I was reading these. And I had to like go back and reread. And I'm like, okay, which are your thoughts and which is the dialogue? Because the way she thinks and the way she speaks is so similar.
That's true. Yeah, I can see that. I think that happened to me once or twice. I was reading the third book today. Because that was the only book I hadn't read because I'd read the first two. And then I read a description of the third one. And I was like, that sounds like it would be hard to read emotionally. And then I didn't.
Understandable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
These books, man, get my secondhand embarrassment so bad. I texted Paige today. I was like, I think we're gonna have to cancel this episode because I can't
She
read
was
these
like,
books.
I can't do it.
Can't read these books. Can't watch these movies. I guess I'm done now. Sorry.
Yeah. I didn't really feel that too bad. I think a little bit in like mostly in the first one, a little bit in the second one, and then the third one gave me like zero feels whatsoever.
Well, like, okay, so how were you not like? Did this book do its job in getting you invested in these characters?
Absolutely not.
Really?
I did not give a shit about anybody in these books.
Interesting. We're gonna have an interesting episode, folks.
Oh yeah,
we're gonna have a real interesting episode.
Thoroughly unimpressed.
So tell me why.
I don't know. I felt like Laura Jean's whole arc was just Like, I feel like she was the same person at the end that she was at the beginning, and
Well, I mean, it's a romance arc.
Yeah.
It's...
And to be fair, I am not big on this genre of YA. When I read YA, it's usually, like, fantasy or, like, there's something else going on. Like, these kind of struck me as, like, Sarah Dessen-style books, and I hated those.
I mean, at least they're better than Sarah Dessen.
I mean, fair. That is fair.
In terms of the genre, yeah, you're in the romance genre.
Yeah.
So, like, the goal of these books is the romance behind them.
But it just, like...
Which I eat that shit up for breakfast.
And
so,
I do,
like,
too, depending on, like, the book. But it just wasn't doing it
But
for
you
me.
eat it up as, like, a subplot, though, right? Romance is the
Most
subplot
of the
rather
time,
than the main plot?
Yeah.
Are there any romance books that you, like that you're
I'm
like,
trying
this
to
is
remember.
my shit?
You just gave me, like, a few. I mean, the few that I can think of right now are adult books, which is not helpful. But, shit. I liked The Summer Bed. That was pretty good.
Yeah, Summer Bed is Amber Shares, and
Yeah.
everyone should read Amber Shares.
That was a cute book. I liked
She's-
the romance there.
She's good at balancing romance and real life.
Yeah.
She's really good at doing that. I think that's why she's my, like, writing hero, is because she's just really good at balancing those two things.
Right.
Where you have, like, life drama and then you have romance drama.
Exactly. Oh, God, there's another book I read. I haven't read it since high school, but I think it's called When It Happens, and it was about this guy and a girl who, like, one of them is into music and the other one's into something else, but they're, like, you know, it's a typical trope where they're, like, very different, and then they, like, come together. And
Are you talking about...
I just really remember enjoying it. I also just might be getting old.
Man, oh yeah, I know who you're talking about.
I think I might be losing my taste for YA, and it's making me really sad.
I mean, that's fair. I mean, yeah. I tend to like it better when they're older, and I feel like I can relate to them more. Like
I don't mind. I can do college stuff pretty well now. But I think I might be losing my ability to get, like, into their heads when they're in high school, because I feel very far removed from it.
I don't. Maybe that's because I'm more writing that than.
That could be it. Yeah.
Because I feel so embedded in college and high school, because that's what I was writing for a long time.
Right.
That I don't have that problem.
I could see that.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Gail Forman is good.
Gail Forman.
Yeah, she's
I'm just gonna write that down.
She's 1 year.
Oh, see, that's another one where it was like, I literally read, like, the beginning arc with the romance, and then skipped, like, 80% of the center chunk, so I could get to the romance again
but, like,
at the end.
the parts of it are... Okay, alright. I like the bits with her and her mom when the Gail Forman's...
Yeah.
Just one... So, Gail Forman as a just one series, it's just one day, just 1 year, just one night. And it's kind of worth getting through just one day and just 1 year just to get to just one night.
Yeah. I definitely didn't read, like, any of the second one because I just didn't.
Yeah, I mean, it's... Yeah, I mean... I like just one day and just one night a lot better than I like just 1 year, but...
Yeah.
I think that they're all good. But, yeah, so you...
It all
couldn't get into it.
No, it all felt very sugary and fluffy, and, like, I don't know, it didn't... I felt like I read 3 books and I was like, what even just happened?
So you felt like they were, like, lacking, like, depth, basically.
Yeah,
like,
that's kind of
the
what
substance.
I felt like. Yeah.
I think that this book tries to do that, mostly with Margot.
Yeah, I almost, like, after I was reading it, I almost kind of was like, I would have rather read a series about Margot's adventures in Scotland and, like, her meeting Ravi and all that jazz. I was like, that sounds more interesting to me.
I struggle with Margot, though. Just because I think she's kind of mean.
They're all a little immature.
And just, I'm kind of just like she gets so mad when her dad, which is a very different word than her husband.
Yes.
When her dad wants to become a husband, when her dad wants to, which is where it came from, when her dad wants to get married, and she just, like, flips her lid. So let's do what we should have done probably 20 minutes ago.
Oh, oops, and the recap?
And break down what these books are about.
Oh,
so...
Man.
We are recording, right? We are recording.
Suck.
I don't know why I had to check right then.
Can
that
you
we were
imagine?
Actually recording.
Oh my god, I'd die.
But okay, so To All the Boys I Loved Before is about a girl named Laura Jean Covey, who she every time she gets a really big crush and she doesn't know what to do with it, she writes a letter to the boy that she loves and she keeps it in a hat box. And her sister, out of revenge, mails the letters in the hat box to all the boys, which for some reason are inexplicably addressed properly.
Yeah, that killed me. Postaged, addressed, everything.
Yeah. So, what happens is that this is the first book starts where she sends a letter to Peter, who is the main love interest for book 1 and book 2 and book 3. And he gets it, and he, like, confronts her. He's like, sorry, I'm not interested. I just broke up with my girlfriend.
Mm-hmm.
And then she ends up starting a fake relationship with him, though, to A, make ex-girlfriend jealous, and B, keep her brother, her sister's, her sister's ex-boyfriend from knowing that she's in love with him.
Right.
So, because the ex-boyfriend also got her sister's ex-boyfriend also got a letter.
Right.
It's this whole
also their neighbor. This is also the
thing.
Plot of the first movie.
Yes. Mostly the plot of the first movie.
Yeah.
Because they made some adjustments here and there.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, so that's the premise of the book, which I find to be really interesting, even if you have to suspend your disbelief a little bit for it to work.
I think the first book out of all of them was my favorite. I was happy with it. The ending kind of shocked me because of where the movie ended was like 20 pages of like the second book. Yes. And then where the first book ends, I was like, whoa, that's a cliffhanger. I would have been really annoyed if I was waiting for these books to come out and they were new. Yeah. But yeah, that was definitely my favorite one. Other than that, I was like,
Okay, so let's God, I don't know where to go from here.
I have like points I want to make, but they're not any like chronological.
I don't have any. Order. I literally just wrote down names. It was like, let's talk about things.
So, I think my biggest problem comes with book 3, in which like it felt like it didn't need to exist. It's just like, I don't know. It was like the fluffiest of them all, and it almost felt like, because I saw there was like a lot of people who are like either on Team Peter or Team John, and John is a love interest that comes into play in the second book and second movie, who was one of the boys who received a letter. But I like talked to other people and like seen a lot of people being like, she should have been with John. Like, why did she choose Peter? John was so much better, and Peter kind of sucks throughout the whole second book. I'm like, you're a shitty boyfriend. And it almost feels like Jenny Han spent the entirety of 2016 reading about people hating on Peter and went, well, you know what? I'll show you, and wrote a book where suddenly Peter is like this amazing boyfriend and he's just being all mushy and sweet all the time. And I don't know, it bothered me.
I love Peter.
He's like, yeah, he's cute and nice and I don't know. Couldn't get into it.
That noise you're
We just both stopped short.
That noise you hear is my cat. I don't know if you heard it or not, but
we turned off our water fountain because you can hear it when we're recording, and she's not happy about it. She's just pulling on it.
I don't know what to do.
Sorry, cat.
She only drinks at nighttime too. Like when we're not present is when she drinks.
Makes sense.
So like, I don't believe for a second that she's thirsty.
No, she's just trying to get attention.
I think she's just mad that we shut off her water bowl.
Yeah. Absolutely. She's just dragging it away. Oh my god. Erin's intervening. She's taking it away. Like, excuse you, meow meow. You've got 15 minutes before you start begging for dinner, ma'am.
I know. That's, I think, what part of the problem is right now is that it's very near dinner time, which we don't usually record very near dinner time.
Yeah. Cutting it a little close. Oops.
There's going to be like a Paige 5 minutes where just Paige talking while I feed the cat.
Oh, don't put that pressure on me. I'm sweating. Oh my goodness.
So, yeah, I like Peter. I feel like... Yeah, I have complicated feelings about book 2. And kind of how he functions within book 2.
Yeah. I don't know. I felt like there was so much room and setup for growing, and the growing didn't happen. Like, I feel like there's like important things that get glossed over that would have been cool plot points. What are you trying to do?
I don't know.
Are you taking the lid off?
I was thinking about it just because I don't... But she...
She just dove and put both her paws into the top. It's one of those little Catite water fountains with the flower on top that you can get on Amazon in case anyone wants to picture what this shenanigans looks like. We're putting it far away. We're putting it in the kitchen. That should be far enough away. I don't think we'll pick up on that.
I think problem solved. But if you hear like gentle water bubbling the entire time,
it's just like
my cat's water bottle.
It's just an ASMR sesh now.
Yeah, we're secretly by a bubbler.
Yeah.
Oh, which is in New England is a water fountain.
Yeah, I don't call it that.
I do.
I thought that was a Vermont thing.
No, It's
Oh.
like it's like a New England thing. Because I remember
Really?
when our mutual friend went to Pennsylvania for college, and
Yes.
everyone thought she was talking about something very different than a water fountaineer when she said bubbler.
What do they think she was talking about? I
I'm
don't
pretty
remember
sure it's a drug reference of some sort.
Is it really?
I'm pretty sure.
I mean, I want to Google it, but I also don't.
We don't know. We don't know. But we're talking about a water fountain. Let's
Yes.
just clarify that.
Right? Oh my gosh.
Fun side quests.
Yeah, who
For
knows
this.
what's even happening right now? That's how I felt reading these books. I feel like I'm being so mean, but I don't know. I just really didn't enjoy them. I just was very bored. It just left me feeling very bored. And I was like, there's no substance.
I spent the entire time feeling very, very emotional.
Oh my god, I didn't
I
even that.
I cringe very hard at these books for when things happen, or I scream, or I
Yeah.
not literally scream, but just
Like the internal
yes, I get
shove your face in a pillow kind
I
of
get
thing.
very emotional at these books.
I feel like I think part of why I have a hard time with these types of books is because I had more of an unconventional
In case
high school
anyone's wondering,
experience.
She's not ignoring the water thing.
Oh yeah, she's moved on.
She's moved on. Now that the water fountain is now within her reach, she no longer wants it.
Yeah, she's over it. Can you not? Oh my god.
Sorry, this is apparently the Daenerys episode.
It is.
It's the Daenerys LaFond episode.
I'll put her on as a guest.
Yes,
Or guest
perfect.
Daenerys.
Yes,
They'll be really
perfect.
confused.
Starring Daenerys the cat.
Yeah.
Whose name I do not regret.
No.
Cause fuck D&D.
Yeah. Right? And not
We
the
should
game.
we should do an episode about that one day. Just do
Oh,
the
no.
Game of Thrones.
I might literally burst a vein.
It was awful. Actually, you know what? Just watch Lindsay Ellis's videos on it. It does it so much better than we ever could.
I could see that, yeah.
Yeah. So you didn't like them. I love them.
Yeah. Just nope. And what's funny is I thought I was going to like them more. Okay, this is a great thing to mention, I feel like, is that I really, really liked the first movie. Like, I feel like the story works better as a movie than it does as books, because I feel like I got lost in a lot of, like, the first-person inner monologue crap where I was like, this is just fluffy thoughts I don't care about. But I thought the first movie was really cute. And I had a good time watching it. The second one I watched today, did not enjoy. Just didn't enjoy it.
Why?
I don't know. I was just like, I'm bored again.
I mean, it's very possible that you might just not be a straight romance person.
Yeah, that could be it. I do very much enjoy it as, like, a side plot. I mean, I like it being very prevalent in the things I read, but I just also like when there's other things going on. Like, my favorite author is Maggie Stiefvater, and she very much does those kind of books where there's, like, a magical realism or a fantasy element going on in the background, so those are my feelings on it.
I'm just sitting over here mildly offended
Oh my god.
on behalf of my own work.
No, I like reading your stuff better than I like these books.
Well, that's good, at least.
I feel like you have more, like, tension and depth in what you're writing, and it just, like, I don't know. I was just so bored.
I mean, I guess, you never... I don't know. I think part of it for me for book one was that Josh felt so insignificant that I was like, this barely feels like a plot thing to me,
Yeah.
where I care so very little about Josh that I'm just
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
you are... don't
Get out
care.
of here, shoo.
I don't care. And then just the fact that everyone kind of shames her in the first book for, like, getting kind of letting loose around Peter and relaxing, and I'm kind of just like,
Yeah.
fuck you.
Yeah, right?
Like, go away.
Also, the shaming over the hot tub thing was way more intense in the books than it was in the movie. I was like, wow,
Yeah.
this is, like, very upsetting. I feel very bad for her.
Yeah, no, and but to be honest, there's a bit that the book does that I like better. The book lets Peter be the hero for that.
Yes, which
Which
do
I
a good job
appreciate.
of that. Yeah, like
I appreciate that the book is like, Peter is like, I'm gonna take care of it, don't worry about it,
Yeah.
and then he does. Where in the movie, Margot does it all, and I wasn't a fan of that change.
Yeah.
Because I felt like it kind of diminished her, Laura Jean's and Peter's relationship.
Yeah, right.
And Peter's capability too.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It kind of makes him look like the side guy. Who just
Yeah,
kinda
like
doesn't-
he was like, yeah, what are you gonna do about it?
Yeah, so I like Peter a lot better in the books than I like him in the movie. Because there's this bit, like, I was just watching today, because I was just rewatching the first movie, having just read the first book over again.
Yeah.
And there's a bit when they're making the contract,
Mm-hmm.
and she says, like, I don't want all my firsts to be fake.
Yeah.
And Peter in the movie goes, well, we've already kissed, what's the big deal? And Peter in the book goes, oh, yeah, that makes sense. Of course, we'll save some things for your guy.
Okay, yeah, I do remember that in the book.
And there's some things I really think they kind of, like, did a disservice to his character in the... I think the actor's great. I think that's part of what it was. They were like... Baby Mark Ruffalo, yes. I think he's really good at being funny and really good at kind of looking put out and really good at certain things. I think they kind of went with his talent a little bit, because I'm not sure I like the characterization of Peter as much in the movie as I do in the book.
I feel like I agree with that for the first one, but in terms of the second one, I actually liked his character better in the second movie than I did in the second book.
Yeah, well, that's because, I mean, like... I kind of liked how in the book, though, they give some blame to both Laura Jean and Peter, because Peter's kind of acting shifty because he doesn't want to reveal about the thing, the secret, but Laura Jean's also being kind of obsessive and being paranoid and insecure. And so their breakup makes much more sense, I feel like, and everything. Yeah. Whereas in the movie, she's just kind of like, oh yeah, I have a crush on another guy, sorry. Yeah. You're kind of just like, okay, but the book was more complicated than this.
Right. And there's letter writing between her and John in book 2. There's like more of a development of what's going on with that. It makes a lot more sense. Yeah, it does.
And it's more of like it's not so much as a deliberate I'm not telling him that I'm dating Peter thing as it is a kind of just like, this seems to not come up because we just talk really well together.
Right.
Deal in the book.
I agree with that. So. I also wanted to talk about Laura's relationship with Jen, because I feel like it bothered me the way it was handled in the books, and I kind of like where the movies are leading to with it.
Yes.
Because there was like no redemption for their friendship whatsoever in these books, and Jen just is a fucking bitch.
Yeah, she still is. Like, I was just finishing up the third book, and she's still being vile.
She's awful.
And I'm like, she has absolutely no redemptive qualities whatsoever. Yeah, where in the movie, sucks. They have like this really nice, heartfelt conversation in the treehouse. Yeah. And you're just like, this is great.
There's like a chance for them to like come back together and like be friends again, it seems like.
Yeah, and it's also like her just like also being like, no, Peter's in love with you. Like, he's even telling me this. Like,
it felt like the growth I was hoping for in the books and like didn't get. I'm like, I feel like the beginning of junior slow down. Who you are at the beginning of junior year, I feel like it's very different than who you are at the end of senior year. And it didn't feel like that for me in the books. It felt like maturity hadn't been gained for a lot of the characters when I was reading it.
Yeah, I can see that. I do kind of like the idea, though, that she's going to go to whatever college she wants to go to, and she's not going to worry about a relationship.
I like that. I like that, not only that, but also that Peter was willing to step up and was like, no, I want to do this with you, even if you do decide you want to stay at that other college. And like, I liked the little contract he put in the yearbook at the end. I was like, cute. I thought that was like the one thing that finally got me. I was like 900 pages later, and I read the contract, and I was like, oh, that's so sweet. And that was like it. It was my one moment.
Was it like the first person, or was it just that you feel like...
It was a combination between the first person and the way... Yeah, I guess you could just boil it down to the first person, because the outside of the dialogue, it still comes down to first person writing.
Now my cat's just being an asshole.
She's just knocking things off the counter. I was saying a thing about the first person.
Yes, you were talking about how the
I don't know. It bothered me. But I've read other first person stuff before, and I didn't totally hate it. You know what? I'm gonna go through my Goodreads real quick, because I definitely read some things recently that I was like, I enjoyed that. And now I can't remember anytime we get on this podcast and we're like, such and such thing, and you're like, and you just like blank. I'm like, what
I know.
Thinking of?
It's like when somebody asks you what you want for Christmas, you had so many ideas before, and now you have nothing.
That's why I've started keeping an Amazon wish list, because I can't ever remember. No, I don't want to sign up. Why am I so bad at this? Just let me sign in.
Can I just nerd out about the filmmaking for a second?
Oh, do it.
So, the movies are really interestingly shot. So, there's like entire sections where they do like shot reverse shot, which is, for people who don't know, is basically when they like two people are talking and so they reverse back and forth between the two faces.
Yeah. That's pretty common, right?
Yes, it's very common. So, but To All the Boys I Loved Before, in both movies, despite the fact that they have different directors, shoot it a little differently, where you do like the over the shoulder thing where it kind of looks like you're talking to somebody, where it looks like you're talking to somebody. Mm-hmm. It's just like a straight on shot, like of the person's, like I was gonna say, it's basically just a straight medium shot.
Okay. I
And
know what you're talking about, because I think there was a clip of that with Stormy in the second one today, where she was like dead center in the middle of the shot,
Yes.
just like looking at
Yes.
you, basically.
they're dead center in the shot. They're basically talking to the audience, but they're not.
Yeah.
Like, they're obviously talking to another person, but it kind of looks like they're talking to the camera, and they're just middle shot, and it's really interesting. And I don't know why they're doing it, but it kind of makes Laura Jean just look kind of like off in her own world, where she doesn't really, like, she's not having a conversation with somebody.
Right.
And I'm just really interested in why that was shot that way, and kind of what the thinking behind that was, because I can't unsee it now. And it was in both films, which is how I noticed it, because I noticed it in film 2, and then went back to film 1 and noticed the conversation between Margot and Laura Jean in the airport, and it's shot the exact same way. And you're like,
fascinating.
what is going on? Why are they doing this? And I'm wondering if the second director just saw what the first director was doing. So yeah, I'm just wondering why they shot it that way, and kind of what they're thinking. Like, I want to know what the point was. I want someone to explain to me what the point of it was to shoot it that way.
Yeah, because it's not like they're trying to set up a narrative where they're like, Laura Jean's POV can't be trusted or anything, or at least she's in her head.
Yeah,
it can be trusted.
I don't know. I think they were trying to shut off the loner thing in the beginning, because there's that whole kind of montage thing of her trying to figure out where to eat because she's all like alone.
Right.
We're having a bad episode filming today, and it's all to do with my cat. It's all my cat. I think she's done now, though.
Okay, literally the only book I could find that was first person point of view that didn't have extra shit going on was the Nick and Nora's Infinite playlist, and I really liked that book.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And that kind of is a pure romance book.
It is, and I loved it. I had a great time reading it.
And that is first person.
Yeah.
So
everything else is like, it's
well
fantasy.
written first person.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Wow, I didn't realize how much fantasy I read. But yeah, I don't know. I think it's just I just don't enjoy that kind of genre.
And it's really interesting because kind of first person is something I'm noticing as I'm diving more into the genre. It's definitely like a romance genre specific thing.
Yeah. And I feel like it's more frequent in YA too.
Yeah, it definitely is.
Yeah.
But like even like you read like if you think about like Elle Kennedy, she's first person.
That's true.
And I think it's just a romance trend because you kind of want to be able to like put yourself in their shoes, and you kind of want to be able to. It's first person's benefit is that it's far more personable.
Right.
It's just a lot easier to fall into writing pitfalls.
Yeah.
When you're writing in first person.
Which Erin has a blog post about that.
I do. I do have a blog post about that on erinlafon.com, which you can go to and get tons of writing advice because that's what I do.
Yes. Easy plug.
But yeah, first person is just kind of a genre convention.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's a really popular series.
I know, and I didn't get it. I wish I had read this back in 2014 because I would have been like 20, and I feel like I would have enjoyed it more.
Okay.
So.
Are you too cynical now?
I think so.
Oh no.
But also, this is a point I started making earlier too, is that like I feel like I didn't have a conventional romantic life in high school, so I feel like I have a hard time relating to these types of things. Like,
okay, but you literally married your high school sweetheart.
That's what I'm saying. Like post sophomore year, it was just it. There was no drama. There was no uncertainty. There was no worry about breaking up. It was just done. So I guess that's why I have a hard time relating to those types of things, even though I know it's a very common experience.
I'm thinking.
Okay.
The silence is me thinking.
The wheels turning.
Yeah, a little. I mean, yes, kind of romantic drama is kind of its thing, but a lot of like if you think about, I'm sorry to go back to like Elle Kennedy, but like once they're together, like the drama is all external.
Yeah. So
like, it's really a pick of like maybe, but no, because Nick and Nora was all internal drama too.
Yeah.
There was some external stuff like the ex-boyfriends and the ex-boyfriend, ex-girlfriend, but like a lot of it was internal bullshit.
Yeah,
so, like,
absolutely.
You confuse me.
I don't know. I don't get it. I wanted to like them. I tried really hard. I just like couldn't get behind it. I also didn't super enjoy like the time frame of the novels. Like it was a little weird to me how it was like book 1's first half of junior year, book 2 is essentially the second half, and then book 3 is almost an entire year later, so we just get all the spring things that are happening in a little bit of summer.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
So like it feels odd. Like I feel like there was stuff that could have been focused on that would have been more interesting. Like the fact that she goes to Korea for a month and we like don't even get to see. I feel like that's like their first test run at being long distance, and we don't even get to see what happened with it.
Yeah, I haven't read that part yet, but
it doesn't exist.
I know, but like, I can definitely see what you're saying about it not needing to necessarily exist, because it does feel a little bit like everything's perfect, and then oh no, it's not, and then it doesn't really.
But the oh no, it's not is for like 5 seconds. Like I'm not even joking. I think it's resolved in like 10 pages.
Because he shows up to the wedding.
Yeah. It's resolved very quickly. And I was like, what was the point of that? Like, I almost would have rather read stuff about them grappling with, like, their first time finally having sex. Like, that feels like a very teenagery experience to, like, touch on.
Especially because it's so built up in these
So
books.
built up!
It was very actually disappointing to me when I was reading the synopsis when I very first decided not to read this book. Yeah. And it was literally, I got to the point where they decide not to have sex, and I was like, why?
Right? Which is,
I mean, like, fine, everybody, like, goes differently.
Absolutely, yeah.
But, like, just narratively, I feel like it would have made sense.
Yeah, it definitely, because it's so prevalent in the whole trilogy, and then, like, you don't even see what happens with it.
Right, because it's her big concern is, one, people thinking they're having sex, then people not knowing that they're not having sex, and then, because that turns into the thing in the third book, is they don't want people to know that they're not having sex, because it seems weird.
Yeah.
Which is, like, it's not, because you're a teenager, and it should never be weird that you're not having sex.
Absolutely.
But, like, by this point, they're both 18, they're both going off to college, I'm kind of just, like,
in the moment
narratively, it would have made sense.
She did want to. Like, she was like, wow, I finally feel ready for this. And it was like, woo, you go, girl. Like, if you feel ready for it, then, like, you should.
But then Peter wasn't ready for it. And I'm kind of just questioning what the narrative purpose of that was.
I mean, he doesn't want to. Super spoilers for the end, by the way. It's delayed spoiler warning.
You should know by now. You listen to that. If you're new here, I'm sorry. But if you're not new here, you know how it is.
Oh, my goodness.
We actually did very good on Hollow Knight last week. We're usually terrible.
Yeah, that's fair. Shit, what was I saying? Oh, Peter stops it because he feels like Lara Jean's only doing it to, like, tie up the chapter of their romance with a neat little bow so she can move on. And he's just, like, doesn't want to do it that way, which, like, I guess I kind of get.
I get it, but I feel like communication would have solved that problem.
That's what I feel about almost every single problem they have in this book. And, like, I get that teenagers have a hard time communicating, but to me...
also parental involvement in this book, though.
Yeah, and beyond that, I feel like when you get to the year plus point, I feel like you're starting to get pretty good at communicating and getting past those kind of barriers.
Yeah.
So I didn't understand that. Like,
or to be fair though, or you're so accustomed to not having those barriers because you're in La La Land for that first year.
That's fair.
That you could hit that first year mark and then never had a problem before.
Right.
But that's not really them.
That's not the case for them.
Yeah.
They've had plenty of problems by now. So yeah.
Yeah, I feel like the first two books are definitely more put together, and I feel like there's kind of a closed arc for book 1 and book 2.
There is, yeah.
And then I feel like book 3 kind of just opened it up, and
it was just extra fluff.
Yeah, you really don't like the fluff, huh?
I like certain fluff. It was too fluffy. It was too naive, white fluffy. Like clouds, like stupid clouds. I don't know. It bothered me so much. I had another thought. God damn it.
Oh no, it's you this time.
I know.
You're the one who did it this time. I was
editing the last episode and I got to that point where you said that and I was just like, we never figured it out. It's lost forever. Oh, God. I feel like I touched on the things I want to talk about, though. You are right. These are very, very highly rated books. I saw, like, a couple Goodreads reviews that were, like, exactly in line with my thinking, and I kind of wish I had saved them to read, because I was like, yes, this is my sentiment exactly.
Yeah, but they've been published in, like, 30 languages. She spent 40 weeks on top of the New York Times bestseller list. Like, these are crazy popular books, and I get why they're popular.
Yeah.
Because they're, like, I like how they're, book 2, they're, like, a love triangle and an exhausting love triangle. You know what I mean? Like, you understand, like, why he's there and what's happening and why there's tension there. And you're not just, like, it doesn't feel kind of, like, forced. It feels more natural than, like, any kind of love triangle I've read before. I feel like there's something she just does really, really well. Like, I think I understand why it's, I mean, like, I love these books. Like, I love them. I just do.
There's nothing wrong with loving them. It's better to love more things than it is to hate on things. I'm just a hater this week. First my Blade Runner fucking blog post.
Yeah, you went hard on that Blade Runner.
Oh my God, filled with rage. Anyways. I don't know. I just need to chill out. I need to chill out.
I feel like we're very rambly this episode.
Yeah. I said my piece. I think we've had a nice discussion though, because we have very differing opinions this time. So I think we've been trying to flesh out why. And I feel like I haven't done a good job saying why, but it is what it is.
I think I just appreciate how the book kind of handles their relationship in terms of them learning how to be a couple.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, I feel like book one is kind of all fake, and then you're thinking about how they, like, because they've known each other most of their lives.
Yeah.
So, like, learning how to, like, basically be friends and then learning how to be a couple, and then kind of just, like, I find that their connection really endearing, I guess is what I'm saying.
Yeah. I mean, I was happy that they ended up together. Like, I liked that that's how that went, and I like that I do like that she ended it where she did, because I don't think exploring their relationship in college would have really, like, tonally fit with the series.
She's also very much likes the cliffhangers kind of thing at the end.
Yeah.
It's like she likes to leave those open endings.
And I think it's realistic because it's a 50-50 shot, you know. Some high school relationships do last through college, some don't, and you're going to see it as you see fit based on what your life experience was. So I think it's good for a lot of parties. And
I really like the family dynamic within these books.
I do too.
I think it's really
that was one of the things I did like a lot, was like the sisterly dynamic, and then like the I feel like the dad was done well, who I also think was very well cast in the movies, because I like that guy a lot.
Yeah, and I think that he tries so hard, and it's really endearing to watch him try.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
then to watch them try for him.
Yeah,
is kind of, well, then especially because he's just so out of place in various situations. And I kind of like they explored the idea of him getting remarried, and it's not like a huge dramatic thing of like, we hate her, she's the evil stepsister.
Yeah, mother. I think that would have been a lot.
So it's more just a like, are you comfortable with this? Because the girls in the book, their mom died when they were younger.
Also in the movies.
Yeah, also in the movies. In the series. Mom dies.
Yes.
And dad gets remarried.
Right.
And it's really interesting how it doesn't really kind of play out as like a, you know, replacement type deal, or like people getting anxiety. I think she got a new kind of different subverting trope activation.
Right. Yeah. Like the girls are very supportive of it. They're like, yeah, it's time. Like, you've been alone for forever. Like, yeah. She gets over it at least.
Yeah.
You know?
She does.
Yeah. I think that makes sense.
I think it's interesting that they changed Kitty's age, kind of, sort of, from.
Did they?
A little bit. She's a little older in the movies than she is in the books.
Okay. She also acts older in the book, so I think it didn't strike me as that. Like, when I was reading them, that like, oh, there's an age difference.
I could be wrong.
I'm not really sure.
I'm pretty sure that she's a little older in the movies than she is in the books.
I certainly liked her better in the books than in the movies. Like, I think she's funny. Like, her whole TV obsession and the things that she knows about really entertained me.
I enjoy Kitty, and I enjoy Georgie's relationship with them, and I kind of... I don't know. I have complicated feelings about Marco, because she always kind of felt like a villain to me in all three of the books.
Really?
Yeah, a little bit.
Wow.
Not like a full villain, but like a little bit like she's the antagonist.
Okay.
She's the antagonist in the marriage. She's the antagonist of Laura Jean's relationship with Peter.
That's true. She's very much like almost like the mother figure, but like not
she is.
a good one.
Yeah. Like, she's kind of like an overbearing mother a little bit, yeah, but she's not, but she's only a sister. I feel like she's not, so yeah, villain's too strong a word. I'm gonna go with antagonist, kind of, sort of, for Laura Jean in a lot of situations.
I can see that.
So we're at like 46 minutes, but we also have to cut so much out of this.
It's probably gonna be total about like 4 minutes. It wasn't as long as you thought.
Okay.
And if I keep that part in and you're really confused what we cut out, don't worry about it. There's just some more cat shenanigans. Oh my goodness.
All right. Do we have anything else to say? Anything else we want to talk about?
I don't think so. That hits on what I want to say. I feel like my final recommendation is, like, we're in very different camps. So I feel like if you're a high schooler, I think you should read it. I think you'll really enjoy them. Maybe even a little bit of college. If you are a 26-year-old married woman and you've been in a relationship for 10 years, maybe don't. It just might fall flat.
Yeah, I think it depends. I think it very much depends on whether or not you're a fluffy romance person. If you like fluffy romance, you're probably gonna like these books.
Yeah.
If you don't like fluffy romance, you're probably not. Because there's not a whole lot of substance to them. They're very.
I think I'm a fluffy
Except
romance
it's like
person
representation.
in like a single book, a standalone. That I can do because I feel like the plot's accelerated and there's like a lot going on.
Binging 3 books in 3 days.
That might have been
much for you.
A little bit much, a little bit too much for me.
That's fair. Yeah. So next episode is going to be A Quiet Place Part 2.
Yes, it is. Very different. What a shift.
Which is good because it gives me an excuse to rewatch The Quiet Place and forever nurse my poor feet.
Your poor feet?
Yeah, because every time I watch The Quiet Place, I can like
always
feel it in my foot.
Yeah, absolutely.
When she jumps on the nail and you're just like,
ah. God.
So we're doing A Quiet Place, and
yes.
pretty much right after it comes out.
Oh yeah, I think we're watching it, recording it, and it's coming out that Wednesday after.
Yes. So.
Yes, we're gonna be on top of it.
Okay.
Oh, sorry, I heard noises and it startled me. We're all good.
Okay.
That's it? Any closing thoughts? No?
No.
No? You looked like I
No.
startle you into worrying you had a thought?
No, we're good.
Okay.
We're good.
That's it.
We'll see you next time.
Goodbye.
Bye.